Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of our Chromebook Classroom. Today I'm here having a little coffee talk with my favorite ELL team is here today, and we have Jackie with us who's going to be telling us some exciting things. Good morning, Jackie. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. I'm well. Nice to see you all. I'm here today as an ESL consultant, and I do secondary. So I have all the high schools and many of the junior highs in my profile. So today I thought we'd show you a secondary example using our wonderful 99 ideas and activities for teaching English language learners, which is taken from the SIOP model. The SIOP model stands for Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. And of course, if you've been following any of us, you know that we give a 4-part SIOP series every year, and we are on our 3rd series in January. It's not too late to
Oh,
get in on that. So
I
yeah,
love
today
this.
we're
I
going to
love
take
this.
a strategy from that book. Hey,
Okay,
Trish,
so
page
remind
108,
me,
109.
this book, you had a total Oprah moment. Everyone got this book, right? Like you
That's
were
right.
giving this out. Every school has this book. I was looking through this book and I was getting so excited because this book is chock full. I think these are amazing strategies for every learner, not just English language learners. I think that's the thing that struck me the most about this book, because this is really strong pedagogy. This is about engagement and representation and collaboration. And so even though you're showing us something for ELL and high school, this is really strategies we could use with any of our students in our classrooms, right?
That's the beautiful thing about SIOP. It's not just for the English language learner. It is really, really good scaffolding and good teaching for every learner.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Now, I know some of the strategies in the book, they kind of focus on perhaps some traditional materials. So we can use things like chart papers and post-it notes and some of those things, and which of course we know we still want to do. But you're geeking out with the geek girl today, and you've
Right.
got a technology spin that we can use with our new teacher Chromebooks as well as our student Chromebook devices in the classroom, using an extension that's been around for about 7 years now. So this is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, we just thought since every student has been gifted or every school has been gifted Chromebooks this year, that we thought, let's just take this strategy that you probably have all used in the past in some form or another, and we'll just adapt it to a Chromebook.
Oh, I
So
love this. Let's do it. Jump
let's
in.
do it. Okay, I'm going to show you first my lesson plan that I came up with. And it's for Social Studies grade 9. You can see that it hits these competencies: demonstrate understanding of how economic decision-making in Canada and the United States. And then it wants us to compare and contrast the principles and practices of mixed and market economies. So this pacing guide is directly linked here. And I kind of thought this could be a lesson series because it's packed chock full of stuff. So our objectives would be, again, to compare and contrast the principles and practices of mixed and market economies. And then, as an ELL consultant, I always love to have language objectives and encourage my teachers to do the same. So we're going to listen for comparison and contrast between mixed and market economy while watching a couple of videos. And then we're going to read a passage and we're going to highlight key vocabulary, which is going to be the meat of this video. Then we will write and depict with images and differences using a graphic organizer, and I just picked a simple Venn diagram for that. Finally, they would present a short Google slide presentation to a partner if you want a low stress situation, or
Yeah.
the whole class. They would
Oh,
have the choice.
I love this. And these are familiar tools for the students. And I love that what you're sharing. Now, we're sharing this lesson. If you want to take Jackie's lesson, we have a copy of this lesson for you below this video. So make sure you grab that. But let's take a look at this technology that's going with it.
Okay, so the students would first watch these videos and the teacher would provide them with a Venn diagram. I didn't do that today because they're readily available and you probably want your own kind. But then after they did that and got sort of an intake of oral information and had a chance to mark down a few things, they might be becoming more and more familiar with the vocabulary. So now we're going to get them to read about it. So I have a link here to just a simple reading that I put together called Market Economy versus Mixed Economy. And so it has a few simple paragraphs, a little difference box, and a conclusion. And I've put the reference down here, although I did accommodate this reading a little bit to make it slightly more simplified. So now what do we do, Trish?
Well, here's what I'm so excited about is I love that we can take something. Now, in this particular instance, we have it in a Google Doc. This 100% also works if you prefer to work in Microsoft Word as well, we'll just point out. But we have an extension when you're signed into Chrome and you're looking for that purple puzzle piece. And what's so great when you activate that extension, of course, we know that Read and Write is a vast tool. And below this video, we will have a link for you to all of our training materials and resources that support Read and Write. But I have to say, it's almost like a magic moment. It's one of those best kept secrets almost of Read and Write, and that's the Vocabulary Builder tool, where we can actually create a vocabulary list. And so we can't click it yet. You'll see it. It's the third from the end. If you haven't changed your toolbar, it says vocabulary. But you're going to take some time, Jackie, and highlight words. Now, here's your tech tip for this. You do have to highlight individual words for this to work. You can't just highlight whole sentences or a whole list of words at once. It does have to be highlighted individually. And color doesn't matter. So if you do want to work with your students on some strategies, like, highlight words that you already knew, say in green. Highlight words that are new to you, you have questions about, maybe in pink. And so we can use some of those thinking strategies as well, but you're going to highlight some things for us.
Mm-hmm. And when I do, I would want to open this Vocab Builder and it will generate a new list for me. What I did before this lesson was I took this very simplified generated list and I adapted it to make it look like this. So it's still got the same headings, but I've included a legend here. So a question mark is I have a question about this or I'm confused. A star is I already know this concept. An exclamation point is something unusual or surprising, and a plus is a concept that is new to me. I must look again at this. Of course, we want the word, the meaning, which we'll look at in a minute.
Yeah.
And a symbol, which again we'll look at in a minute, and then notes, okay? And see how I've included the symbols in the notes column as per my instructions here. So back to the reading, if I wanted to put a word in there, I would, as Trish said, highlight it. And then I'm going to go to two of these tools, the dictionary and the picture dictionary. First, the dictionary. I'm going to try and find the appropriate definition. So the noun here, lowest ranking soldier. No, that doesn't sound right. Noun, if something is done in private, it's done away from others. I think that's what they mean. So I'm going to copy that, put it in my, I did it already in my thing. And now I want a graphic. So back to my reading. And now I can close that up and go to my picture dictionary. Now I've got some symbols that I can copy and put into my document.
That is
Again,
so neat.
And they have this and they add this to their drive, right, Trish?
Yes.
They have it forever.
Oh, I love this. Okay, can we show another way that this can work, even more automated? So if we go back to your reading, here's what's really great about it. We're just going to take some of those highlighters that are in the Read and Write toolbar. So if we choose some of those words, so take your highlighter and maybe choose some of the words that are there. So exactly, let's just grab some of those. Don't worry about the color. Highlight those, find another one. I think there's like economics and government, and let's just highlight 3 or 4 words in here. Again, kids can use whatever colors they want. So in this particular point, we're going through, we're choosing some vocabulary, we're choosing those colors. And what's fantastic is now if we click the Vocab Builder, the Vocab Builder tool, it's going to generate us a list. It's going to create those headings for us. It's going to take just a moment and it's going to open it up. And what's so neat is it's already pulled for us the symbol, the word, and all of those dictionary definitions. And now what students can do is they can collaboratively work together to say, okay, let's go through those meanings. Which one of those meanings do we keep? And so they can start to do that reverse order where they're going to go through and they're going to get rid of and take out that information. But one more thing I love to do is, do you see where it says notes and there's that column there? I love when students can come to start to make meaning and we can use another tool built right in. And so if we were to go, do you see, and it's in the bottom right-hand corner of your Google Doc and it looks like a little star. Yeah, and it's called Explore. It actually opens up the power of Google right here in the doc. So I could search for a term. So I could search for something like important or demand, or perhaps I was doing a vocabulary word like earth, leaf, photosynthesis. I could search for one of those terms. So any term you want, you could even, throw in a science word or whatever we're doing. Demand is great. What it'll do is it's going to search the web. It's going to do a Google image search. You can see that there's images in the middle column there. You can see it'll search your drive. But what I can start to do is I could even choose one of those images if I wanted to. And I can drag that image to where it says notes. And now I have a contextual image to go along with the picture dictionary image that goes with it as well. Same with the web results. If I had a piece of research that I was doing and I could drag that web result over into my notes. It will give it attribution and it will be able to keep it right there for me. So instead of students spending their time copying vocabulary from the board, copying definitions, we're spending our time making meaning of it instead. And I just think these two ways to use this same tool is so powerful.
Absolutely. And when we make something like this, we'll want them to save it in their own drive so that they can have it as a study guide and go back to it and use it as an interactive working tool throughout the unit.
Isn't that what's so great about these Google tools is that's already in your Google Drive waiting for you and saved. What we can show students to do is they can go up to where it says vocabulary list untitled. They can title it, they can give it their name. And guess what? They can hand it in the Google Classroom. We can even see how they've done this and made some notes. They can share it. You could share this with Helen right now and you could be collaborating together on it. It's such an amazing tool where we can really remove the restrictions of print but still allow print to serve us. And I think that's such a powerful thing when we have ELL learners or any learners that struggle with print. It's not about removing print. It's about removing the barriers of print. And I think that's what's so powerful here.
Right. I agree. And just as a side note, for scaffolding purposes, teachers might want to choose the vocabulary for the lower level learners to begin with. Other students who are really high and looking at those higher order questions and whatnot can choose their own vocabulary to interact with. And that way, the symbols for the notes on my first example might be more relevant to those two types of scaffolds.
I love it. Oh, this is so exciting. And what's so great, this is a tool that I was going to say free. Well, you know what? Actually, the division pays for a license for every single staff and student to have read and write. But the fact that we have this at our fingertips to use with our students, along with this amazing book, this amazing resource you've given every school, I think is so fantastic. So Jackie and Helen, thank you for being here today. Thank you so much for sharing how we can infuse technology into pedagogy. And I look forward to doing another episode with you. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.